Hey, so what I'm going to do is today is the beginning of the circulatory system, kind of looking at the functions as well as the first part of the blood. So what we look at here, the key function I'm going to kind of refer back to quite often throughout this unit is the job of transportation. So blood is what we use as a transport vehicle, so it carries things in the body from one place to another. So some of those key things that it's going to transfer, I'll be talking about here in a moment, is it transports oxygen, nutrients, cell wastes, and such as carbon dioxide is one example, hormones, and antibodies vital to maintain homeostasis to and from cells. So we're kind of going through this because we just got done with the unit on homeostasis, how we get kind of particles or molecules into and out of the cell. All right, now we're going to be looking at kind of what transports that throughout our body. All right, so we're looking at the parts of the circulatory system. There's going to be three major parts. The first part is the heart. All right, we're going through kind of at the end. We're actually going to go through this in reverse order. Now, we're also going to be looking at the blood vessels that carry the blood, or the heart, and its job is to pump the blood. And we're also going to be looking at the blood. So today I'm going to go through real quickly what the blood is, kind of what it's made of, and kind of those the key functions or key parts of that. Yeah. So first thing is looking at what we call the composition of blood. So composition is just simply referring to what is it made of. All right, so we're looking at kind of blood. We have our plasma, and the plasma then is kind of form of elements like what we call RBCs, which are red blood cells, right? WBCs, white blood cells, and platelets. And we'll go through individual slides on each of these since they kind of go a little bit more in depth. They also have the other material that's normally being transported by the blood. So one example is oxygen. So we have O2. And our oxygen's job is to, or what the body needs it for, is to create energy. So it's part of what we call cellular respiration, where energy is created. It also is carrying CO2. Remember, that's a byproduct. So when our body makes energy, it creates carbon dioxide as a byproduct. So we need to get rid of that. So what the blood does is it gets oxygen to the cells and carries carbon dioxide away. It's also carrying those nutrients that the cells need to survive, antibodies to help fight off infection. So it's kind of looking at the virus and bacteria unit, looking at those antibodies that help fight off those viruses. And then also carries hormones. And hormones are basically just chemicals in the body that cause either cells or tissues or organs to respond or to do something. One example of a hormone would be adrenaline. So adrenaline is, that's kind of that fight or flight response. When you have a rush of adrenaline, it sends that hormone will get into our bloodstream. It'll get to the heart. Will cause the heart to increase in heart rate. So your heart starts beating faster to give more energy to your body. That way, if you need to either fly or fight or flight, if you need to run, you can. You have energy for that, or if you need to fight, you have the energy for that. So those things are kind of the main things that are being carried through the blood. All right, so the blood itself, again, it carries nutrients, water, oxygen, waste products to and from your body's cells. All right. So what it's doing is it's taking it from basically your, the oxygen and carbon dioxide, for example, are being carried from your lungs, into the bloodstream and then back to your lungs. Whereas, say, the waste products could be, the waste products we need to get rid of, say, liquid, to go to the kidneys to be filtered out. It also has what we call hemoglobin, which is the iron-containing molecule. Hemoglobin is what the oxygen bonds to. And so we do need iron in our diet, and it's actual metal. And what it does, like it says, it bonds to the oxygen, be able to carry basically in the lungs, and it can diffuse into your body. So hemoglobin, can be used to pick up or actually gather oxygen in your lungs, where your lungs have a very high concentration of oxygen from breathing it in. The bloodstream has a low concentration. We'll kind of look at how that works later on when we see how the blood moves. And then it loses it in low areas of oxygen. We'll talk about that later on as well. It also carries against CO2, which is the waste product, simply to get rid of it. 70% of carbon dioxide combines with water, and it comes out of our body as urine. The rest of it, that other 30%, travels to the lungs, and we simply exhale it. So that's kind of one way our body can get rid of things it doesn't need, is through that exhaling. So then we have our red blood cells. So red blood cells, their job is simply to carry oxygen. So that's what they do. They have that hemoglobin in them that allows them to carry or hold on to oxygen. and it also carries carbon dioxide and transports it away from your body into your lungs so you can exhale it. All right, so kind of give you guys an idea how many red blood cells we have. There's about 5 million red blood cells in one drop of blood. So just kind of think of one little drop. There's actually 5 million red blood cells in that drop. Actually, we need a lot of oxygen. Our body constantly needs oxygen. We are always using energy, so we need a lot of red blood cells to carry that oxygen to create the energy. And you're just going to have a quick picture so you can kind of see what the general shape of a red blood cell is. It almost looks like a kind of a donut, just as kind of filled in the middle. Yeah. So white blood cells, we kind of talked about these in the virus and bacteria unit. So what they do is they simply protect the body from germs, those viruses, bacteria. They attack and destroy them when they enter the body. So we kind of already went through those, so it's a little bit easier for going through them. Okay, so again, we have the macrophage, so we have our killer cells like the neutrophil, our natural killer cell that they're able to attack and fight off those viruses and bacteria. Okay. Then last major thing we have is the platelets and plasma. So the platelets are basically what help you stop the body from bleeding. So we saw that in the video for Monday. I kind of looked at the heart attack where the platelets are bonding to places that where there's maybe a rupture, or in this case where the plaque cell or the plaque bursts. But platelets are used to prevent bleeding, so they kind of have that clotting factor. Then plasma is just simply the liquid part of the cell. So, about half your blood is made up of plasma, and it's that plasma or it's that liquid that allows the blood to be able to flow smoothly through your veins. That way, it's less likely for them to get plugged up or anything for bad to happen. And that's made in the liver. So again, you can see here, so we have our platelets, which are the kind of those yellow pieces in this image here. Remember, what they do is they will clot your blood and prevent it from basically bleeding. We have red blood cells in, which are a little bit larger. So that way, they're less likely to get kind of caught in those areas. And again, they're largely carry more oxygen. Okay, so I'm going to go through, next is be going through kind of the blood vessels tomorrow. If you have any questions or need any help with anything, please let me know. And you can kind of contact me either through email or our Zoom sessions on 2 p.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Otherwise, have a great day.